Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Just Gaming. Today, this is Outhold Let's Play 19. I had shot this previously, as I mentioned in the last video, but the video didn't work correctly, so I'm reshooting it. I do have the two quests that I'm going to go after in this video already complete, but I wanted to redo them again so everybody sees what I did and how I got there. I'm just kind of skipping all the way to I think level 8 wouldn't have really worked very well. So today we're going to try and tackle the build challenge, sorry, not the build challenge, the token limit challenge for levels 6 and 7. Let's continue. So what I've done here is this is the same build as where I left off after our challenge on level 5. So let's look at where we're at. I did do 7. I didn't do 8 yet. So level 6 is where we need to go through. Next, this level is a little challenging in that you have things coming from both sides, right? You do start with 2 artifacts. You start with a light artifact and an ice artifact. So that's really cool. Let's take a look at the numbers here. We have 17,500, which I think there's an additional, 5,000 of the lower currency, and then another 250 of the blue, and I think 1 of everything below. So we get another gold, we get another time trial token, a build token, and the artifact. So another artifact is quite cool. So let's look at our build and what we could do to it. I think we're going to I'm not switching builds. I'm just trying to build on what we had before. So we have some different limits now. Having an additional gold is quite nice. So figuring out where to put that, is going to be important. What do we want to go with? Do we want to go with another tower? Do we want to do some multi-crit, a fireball? There's quite a few choices here and branches that you can go with. Do you want to invest in poison arrows, or pools or things like that? That we have quite a variety of things that we could do here. So the first thing I'm going to do is we have the ability to go to 21,129. So we have an ability to spend quite a bit of points here. So I'm going to go ahead and max the arrow tower out. Just having the max damage on the arrow tower is probably one of the most important things you're going to have. Every single arrow is doing lots and lots of damage. That's kind of what you want to, that's kind of where you want to be, right? Arrow tower secondary arrows. I also want to max this out if I can. Now it looks like I can. The arrows that we're going to launch, we're going to also do maximum damage with those. Or the most that we can do. The secondary arrows don't do as much damage, but having them do 30% of our maximum damage is I'm quite keen on that. Vulnerable enemies take extra damage. I'm going to do that as well. I'm just looking to kind of try and let's try and max out our arrows. That's, I think, where we're going to go for the moment. So we still have 21,129. So we still have a little bit to work with. I am debating between the fireball and the pools, or sorry, the poison. Having things poisoned is quite nice. So I think I'm going to go with the poison, and if we can, maybe expand into the fireball on the next build. Let's do this. So if we get into the poisoning, we can then have the arrow tower do an additional poison for a few blue points. The blue points were limited by 27, 27011. So we could do that once. That's way too much. Critical hits also cause poison. Pools. 27061, and then this is 50. We'll go there. Okay, 27011. That's the maximum points that I can spend on the blue. So there's no more lesser currency to spend down here. Let's look at these. Leveling up the arrow tower, it gains 20% increased base rate fire, but loses 10% base damage. Having it fire a lot more is quite good. But let's see if we want to do something else with those points. Having the leapers explode might be good, but this is really good too. Having it fire faster and faster. is quite good. We've put a lot of points into our base damage. So I think I'm going to go there the purple. Let me see. With level 6, we can spend 4 purple, which we've done. Okay. And then we don't have any access to another green yet, right? Yeah, this green currency, you're kind of locked behind things, so kind of stuck there. We do have some more base level currency, so let's look at where we can spend that. We can go down to 21,129 is my calculation. I'm going to go ahead and look to max that out. So now our crits are all maxed out. Here, let's look at raise the effective slows. That would be 400. Let's do that. 200 there, 21,129. Let's do one here and one here. So we're at 21,144. So I think we're done with our lesser currency. We're done with our blue currency, the gold, the purple, and there's no greens for us to invest in. So I think this is the tree we're going to try level 6 with. Again, really, really hitting hard on the arrow towers and making sure all of our lesser currency is spent here. Having the arrow towers just hit as hard as we can. We're into the rain of arrows. We're into this dancing arrows. And then we've got a pretty good amount of this built out for the explosions. I think we're going to build more of the explosions out next on the next run. So let's go ahead and try and defend level 6. Oh, wait, we got one more. Forgot one thing. We got one more artifact, and I'm going wind. Having the ability of our arrow towers to fire faster and farther, I think, is where we want to be. So let's try that. Let's do a defense, start. This is active, so our build is good. And then we can take a look at where we want to build stuff. I'm going to put an arrow tower here because this is the extra range. And I'm going to put a pulse tower here because it's the rewind. So I do like having these two options on this level for free. I'm going to put an arrow tower here, and I'm going to enchant this one with, having it fire really, really fast would be nice. Let's do wind and have it fire very quickly. And then we have 5 extra gold, which means we can't do anything. Probably looking at putting a pulse tower, and an arrow tower. Then one of the arrow towers will get enchanted with this additional range. Let's go. I like to do the arrow tower first because it's going to get the artifact. Actually, let's level these up first, and that's actually probably a better use of our funds. Let's start it early. We got this one. Let's enchant it with the light, and then let's level it up. And I want to level this pulse tower up, look to build a pulse tower, and then look to build another pulse tower. You want to watch the early here. I should have actually been manually aiming at that shield. I am going to start this early. Then I'm going to look to level these arrow towers up again. And then probably look to build another arrow tower over here if I can. Not looking to level early yet. Let's launch. If we can get this arrow tower built here, I feel fairly comfy about where we are. Let's go early. Yeah, I'm going to look to level this guy first, and I'm going to level these pulse towers. And then this guy here. I should have gone early there too, but I think we're okay. Now these little shielded guys are problematic because they protect, all the things that's around it. So they're hard to click on. Let's go and level this up. level this one up and go again. Again, I should have probably gone early, but it doesn't seem to be causing us any issues. Arrow towers are leveled up. If I can get to 250 with this guy, I would be happy, but I think it might be a bridge too far as the coins are concerned. But maybe not. We're accumulating quite a bit here. Now, the last level I don't tend to go early just because it's the boss coming up. So I did get there. So this guy is maxed. The boss is next. Let's have the boss come and we'll go. Now this boss is split in two. So you get to fire at both sides. You know, the boss coming from both directions is a little scary. However, it's not bad because you're getting to fire at two different things. Now, once you kill one side of it, the other side gets faster. So just be aware of that. We got through that pretty easily. Let's go back again. I am going to use the calculator here and calculate our numbers again. So we're at 20,000 for our lesser currency. So that gets us, that's an easy one. I don't have to use a calculator for that. So we can go down to 19,253. And then we have 1,500 blue. With 1,500 blue, we're at what? 26,588. And then we have 6 gold that we can spend, which means we can spend down to 4. And then we can spend down to 25 on the time trial and the build currency. And then we get still 2 artifacts. So we don't get to increase our artifacts at all, but we get to throw some more points at everything. So let's do the build and let's take on level 7 here. Again, I've already completed this one, unfortunately. But we will go through it again just so you can see how this build is doing. With this one, the first thing I want to do is invest our gold. You can see there's a variety of places we can put the gold. We can go into new towers. We can go into multi-crit, all those things. I think the best thing to go into is this fireball. It's something you don't have to purchase a tower to make it have an effect. So it is a percentage chance, but it's something that's just going to happen automatically. So it's not something they're going to have to keep throwing points at. The other thing I like about the fireball is you increase the chance here, but then you can actually spend one of the green currencies that we've kind of been locked. You've kind of been gate locked with the this currency here, and we can actually spend one. It's only one, but we get to spend it. The other thing here I want is the runners and leapers to explode more. So we're going to use our 1 extra purple currency here. Now we have some additional base currency, that we can spend. We can go down to 19,253. So I'm going to increase our chance to do fireballs a couple times, just have that there. I'm going to spend the base levels here on these additional skills here and here. And the reason I'm doing that is I just want to see where I'm at. So I'm 20,818. Now I can make some decisions on what the heck do I want to do with the rest of my points. So with the blue, we were at 27,213. I think we're still good there. We can go down to 26,588. So with the blue currency, we've kind of invested, a bit there. So 26,588. So blue currency here, having chances for more pulls. I do like that. And I'm going to do it again. Having pulls down and being able to slow is quite good in my opinion. Vulnerable enemies hit by poison gain 1 extra stack. We have maxed out the chance for those things to go. I'm going to max out the chances for the bosses to explode. The elites I'm not as concerned about, so I'm going to leave that as is for the moment. Raise all explosion damage. Size of explosion 26,588. Having the explosions do more damage is quite nice. I can get that here. This one we can go down to 19,253. So let's go ahead and throw some points there. Those are 1,000 a piece now. 26,588. Let's go ahead and raise that 26,588. I think we're kind of done with the blue. Unless we can find, I don't think there's like a 50 we can do, right? That's 150. Yeah, I think we're kind of 26,588. That's 513. That's not good. All right, we'll leave that there. I think our blue's about where it's going to be. 19,253 for the lesser currency, though. We can't spend any more here. However, we do have some lesser currency available over on this side of the tree. So 800 is too much, I believe. 300 is not. So let's go 300, and then we're at 19,253. No, we could have spent 800. Let's see. I think I want to raise the slowing effects or the vulnerable chance. Let's go ahead and raise the slowing effect. I'm okay with that. This is 50. 26,588. Yeah, it's too much. Okay. So now we have 19,568. We have a couple hundred points there. I think we're 19,253. I think we're okay there too. So I think we're good with lesser currency. We're good with our blue currency, gold, purple, and green. So we should be able to get into this level and have an active token limit. Let's start. Let's check. It is active. Okay. And now here, I definitely want the pulse tower because that rewind is fairly powerful. Having the ability to just back enemies up is pretty good every time you pulse. I'm going to put an arrow tower here just for the extra range. And I'm also going to throw an arrow tower here. And I'm going to enchant this one with wind. So that way, if anything gets down here, we're just going to be really shooting arrows at it very, very quickly. I think I'm also going to try and put an arrow tower here with the light as well. And then put some pulse towers here and here. Then fill in arrow towers wherever I can. Probably here, so that way we can try and prevent any damage if we can. We have 6 waves to accelerate before we get to the 7th boss wave. We are active. Let's go. So first things first is I'd like to increase the level of these towers first. Here and here. I think I want to build this next arrow tower first. Get it enchanted and leveled up. Then let's put a pulse tower in. Let's level up this pulse tower. Let's look to start a new wave if we can. I'm a little nervous about starting the waves, but I think we just need to try and do it here. Okay, pulse tower, level up, level up. Okay, all of our towers are kind of leveled up once. Let's start another one. Now I really want to try and get another arrow tower here. If I can get that going, I feel pretty good about where we're at. Because these leapers start coming in and they take shortcuts. So you need to be kind of prepped for them. Okay, now I want to get this one leveled up, and I feel better about where we're at. I should have started that wave a little early, but I think we're still okay. I'd like to get these shielded guys dead if I can. This one up. I'd like to level this one up next. Okay, these shield guys, they're hard to click on. I think I don't have this one dead yet. Nope. Come on, come on, come on. All right, I'm not going to mess with anything else here. Let's see if we can get this to 250. We can. Let's start early. Let's level this one up. Yeah, I like to level that. Start early. All right, now we can relax on starting anything early. We do have maybe the ability to put in another tower, but I think we're probably better off investing here in the 250 here. So let's do that. And then maybe even investing in the 250 here. Let's see what we end up with. I think we're pretty comfortably going to clear this. If we get 300, it might be better getting another tower, which we did. I'm going to put in one more arrow tower and pump it up here. Now, when we hit the boss, we have chances to generate coins still. So we could potentially get a 40 here. So I think we're okay starting this wave. I think this boss comes out of this side and has to work its way around. So having another tower doing damage is pretty good. Okay, that's probably the end of the line for the level up. So maybe we'll get another level up here. I'm okay with that. Yeah, we didn't even need it. Excellent. So that's level 7. This is where our upgrade stood. And we'll tackle level 8 and in the next run, and probably level 9, to be honest. So level 8, we go from 20,000 to what, 25,000, and we get another 1,000 blue. It does look like we get, to access to a few more tokens here and another artifact. This level was quite interesting. What I found with this one in the past, you get, in the just completing the other ones is, you need to really focus your towers in this section here. Outside is not where you want to be, but maybe other folks have a different success with that. Maybe everybody else puts things on the outside. But having these artifacts for free, being able to lay your own artifacts down, I found that the inside pieces are best. So we'll try and tackle that next time. Again, really appreciate everybody for stopping. Hopefully these videos are helpful. We'll tackle 8 and 9 next time, see if we can get through those. I don't think level 10 has an offering. Let's check real quick. Yeah, level 10's kind of just the survive one at the end. So we have that, and then we're going to try this prestige mode and working through those. I'm not really sure what prestige mode does, so I have to try that too. I'm really enjoying Outhold. I hope you are too. If you haven't purchased it, I think it's still on sale on Steam. I think most of the Steam sales are lasting until January 5th, so there's still time. The developers are active. They're very excited with the success of the game, and they have already stated that they're going to try and figure out how to expand it. I don't know if that'll be through a DLC or there'll be some free updates coming. That's up to them. I could easily see them just creating new levels and keeping things as is with just some additional levels for challenges and stuff like that. I could see them adding in more towers, certainly that might require a little of a rework of how this tree is positioned. But there's a variety of ways to handle that. We'll see where it goes, but I hope you're having fun. Hope you're having a good time. Like, subscribe, dislike, add comments, all the YouTube things. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody.